Yo, what's good? I'm Friday here back from a video answer and be hopping into a gun spread offense. Someone suggested this in my comments, so I'm bringing it to you guys. Make sure you guys let me know what you guys want to see next because I do get a lot of inspiration from what you guys are looking for, especially this late in the year where we've ran a lot of these formations. So let me know what you guys are trying to see. Might drop an ebook soon, so let me know what ebook. I've seen people say Lions. Let me know if you want any other ones like Colts or ones of those Junction, but we're going to hop into the spread offense. Spread is a offense that I usually post every year, and it does well. A lot of guys like the spread offense, and it's a very unique but successful formation. Before we get into the video, also make sure you guys drop a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel down below for more of these free tips. And once again, hopping into it. So we're going to be in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive playbook. It is in a couple of other ones. I think Giants, maybe Vikings. But Tampa Bay is by far, in a way, the best one to have. And just taking a look at some of these plays that we like. I like Bucks corner. You have inside zone. That's good. Smash digs on the left. Quick slot out. Bucks post trail. All three of those plays are really good. And then some plays like Bucks flood can be decent. And curl flats. Look at our audibles. I like Bucks corner, inside zone, smash digs, and quick slot out. Now another play that I will throw in is going to be Bucks post trail. So we're actually going to come out in that play, start out in it. Now one thing that's unique about this formation is that you get 4 wide receivers. So you can definitely get creative with that, get your 4 best wide receivers there. You can put tight ends if you would like, but just keep that in mind. So we're going to start out in this Bucks post trail. Now this formation is probably a lot better against zone coverage than man coverage, but the good thing about this playbook, this Tampa Bay Buccaneers playbook, is that if you're facing heavy man, you can actually audible to gun tight. Now you would need a tight end, of course, to audible to tight. Keep that in mind. But we're going to start on this Bucks post trail. Now taking a look at this play. What you have is a nice backside post with Trent Sherfield. Cedric Wilson's on kind of this deeper post route type of thing. So you have some interesting things there. Now, one thing I like to do is these guys on the left, when they're on these weird routes, you can do some simple stuff like a curl flat concept. One of my favorite concepts is the little zig to come back. That's good against man coverage. And then you have Cedric Wilson here. He's in an awkward spot. You could put him on a streak. Or what I like to do, and you'll see this theme kind of throughout, just go with a little backside slant and motion him over. Since it is delayed, it ends up like kind of running like this to where it gets a lot slower, but it puts the slant and post in position to be crossing each other at just the time you want. So I'm a big fan of that concept. So we'll go ahead and show it again. This time we'll throw him on a little streak. Now, abilities-wise, you can definitely get more creative if you would like. Get some slot apprentices with Hot Route Master could be very good. Let me know if you guys want to see a gameplay, but the running backs on these little table routes a lot out of some plays. I think Bucks corner as well. So yeah, you see in Bucks corner, he's on the table route and in smash dig. So that's 3 plays that he's on this table route. So it's really good to have that. Your opponent's going to have to be defending it because it's in so many plays. And if you're leaving it out there, he will certainly have to be worrying about it. So there you have RB, B. If you want, you can maybe quick snap it to A. But over here on this left side, you have this little comeback to zig concept. Timing-wise, it's definitely something you want to probably practice if you're going to throw it out there a lot. But if you do run it successfully, it can actually get pretty open. You saw almost both routes open there. Now, timing-wise, right there is probably your best bet. And then try and click on, maybe get a little bit inside. Now, one thing I'll say about spread is you want good pocket presence. Make sure that you're stepping up in the pocket. Generally, I like to double team these guys, kind of step through like this. Just in spread formations like that, you're not really rolling out because it's so symmetrical. Generally, you're throwing from the pocket. So you can get a pocket pass or QB. You don't really need speed. Let's hop into Bucks corner, though. Now, this play is one of my favorite plays. You can really just run it stock if you'd like, and it would be successful. Over there on the left side, you have a nice little flat to C route concept. Really good to space out coverages, especially zone. Man coverage, you could hit that C route. Now, it's a little bit weird. It's in kind of a weird spot to where if I'm throwing it, I'm just against cover 3 here. It's really difficult to get it complete. Against cover 2, it would be a different story, so you could definitely throw it against cover 2. But man coverage, you really want to try and throw it on break, pass it up. But that's one. You, of course, have Waddle on his flat. Then over here on the right, once again, you have this table route with Mostert. Now, again, as far as the spacing with this, you could actually run it from the short side or the wide side. You don't have to run it with your running back on the short side. That's just how I'm in it. But it would depend on the play probably, because if this play, I want this corner out on the wide side. But if it was quick slot out, I would probably run it from the other side so that we could have that corner out from the right on that side. So But it's important to mix it up because you don't want there to be a tell of, okay, the running back's on the left side. That means he's going to try and throw it to the right. Simple stuff like that. Keep it in mind. Now, back to Buck's corner. He's kind of showed those routes. Now over here on the right, you have a little hitch actually with B that you can hit. A pretty good spacing concept, and that's just a default route. Little hitch that goes inside. Actually, I'm a big fan of that route. But something else you can do if you don't want it is go with a classic curl. And again, all these plays you can kind of snap early. In this case, you'll hit him. If it was cover 2, you'd probably hit B. And again, usually one of those 2 routes will be open. If it's man covers, the curl should also cook as well. Those are really good. So there's a variety of things you can do. Another thing that you can do going back to the same concept is motion over the slant. This play is probably even better than the other one, Bucks post trail, with this slant because you motion him across, boom, and you're able to hit him. So once again, you can motion either the slot guy or that outside guy on the running back side. Now on this left-hand side, you can motion Jalen Waddle in, like so. You can motion him across if you'd like. So we'll show that. That route's actually cool when you motion over like a stock flat. He moves into a super slow drag, which is actually can be a decent route. So you can motion him over, but if you try to motion Tyreek, he does not motion over. So that is the one limit that you have within the offense. So everybody else can motion. Mostert can motion to the left, other side if you'd like as well. So I'll show this setup again. Bucks corner, you have a little slant. This is really good spacing. And there's just so much to worry about from a defensive standpoint. It's really difficult to defend a play like that. You have man threats, you have a slant, you have a post, you have a C route if it's man coverage. If it's zone, you have your couple of flats if he's playing super far over the top. So really just a headache to defend. And again, you will use a lot of motion, but make sure with your QB, you step up in the pocket. You will get shedded like that, but if you do take a sack, you're not losing 10 yards. You're only losing 3 or 4 or 5 yards, and you can also take off if it's good. So if he's rushing 3, even 4, you can take advantage like that. And again, you don't have to send the running back out on a route just because. You can most certainly block him. Now, if you wanted to, you could also flip these routes. Like maybe I motion over Sherfield on his flat, and this is just to confuse him. If he's manning up that slot guy every time, or if he's manning up the motion guy every time, that would be a good way to counteract it. But let's hop into our next play. It's just going to be the inside zone. Now, with inside zone, some things you can do to help is maybe just throw a little motion out here. It doesn't hurt. Gives you another blocker. And he's actually going to take the linebacker in this case. So definitely we'll use motion. And it's not going to give anything away because you're motioning those guys anyway for the passing game. If you run a default, it can work. It's not the best thing in the world, but, try and run the ball a little bit. It's a passing formation, but it doesn't hurt to try and run the football, 5, 6, 7, 8 times a game. And again, you can pick up decent yards. He picked up 10 yards right there. So I don't know what that animation was, but even running it from the slower side, you're able to pick up decent yardage. So take advantage. If he's playing really good run defense, then you don't even have to worry about it. But moving on to our next play, we got Smash Diggs. This is a fantastic play. I like it a lot. And our first setup is going to be kind of keeping it simple. We're just going to slant Cedric Wilson. We are going to motion him across. We have a deep post or a deep in route. We have a corner out. Now, I like to motion snap these guys. You don't have to. I personally like to. I don't want to give my opponent more time to adjust. We want to try and motion and snap as fast as possible. But taking a look at what we have a lot of stuff. It looks like these guys might be Sherfield and Cedric Wilson. They might kind of run into each other. They actually don't, which is really nice, especially when you delay it. Then over here on the left, you have basic corner out concept. So we'll show that first. Again, you see you have a lot of space to step up in the pocket. Now, these D ends aren't contained or anything, but this is what I mean by stepping up in the pocket. With spread, it just seems like it's more open to step up. Like, look at that. So you'll step up, and then a lot of times when you step up, if they have any hook curls or these guys, they actually move down a lot of the time, but you can hit that. Of course, I threw it a little bit late there, but you see how open he was. That route's going to be good against man coverage. It's a kind of a flatter route, so you can definitely cook it. Make sure you highball it, though, because you don't want to get undercut. So that's the corner route. Over here on this right side, once again, you have the table route, which you can just really snap throw every play. If he's not going to defend it, you can pick up 5 yards without contact. You have an opportunity to break a tackle and pick up a first down. And then you have the high-low read between the slant and the dig route. So again, if you're facing pressure, you want to give yourself a couple of routes that you can hit early. So there's going to be a look at the slant with Cedric Wilson. Now we'll throw the in route. and we'll show that. So this is really my favorite setup. I don't necessarily have too many other setups to run. I'll show some setups I like if I'm blocking my running back, because there will be situations where you have to block your running back. And again, also if you're facing edge pressure, just good practice to step up in the pocket, because that's what you want to do anyway against edge pressure. Otherwise, your running back won't block anybody. We all know that. But the setup I like for this play is to, if I'm blocking my running back, I like a little zig over here. And then I might actually keep Hill. Now he runs a little bit of a deeper in route. You can throw him on a shorter one like this. Even then, sometimes he'll get bumped. So probably a drag is your best bet. Just throw him on a drag, and that would work. If you want, you can, of course, motion him in, but this setup is going to be decent. It gives you good man coverage threats. All these guys could get open against man. And then, again, good spacing as well. Nice catch, Trent. But that's really going to do it for that play. Hopping into next play is going to be quick slot out. I mentioned that I do prefer being on the other side for this one. And with this play, you have a couple of decent routes. Now over here on this left side, it's another situation where I'm kind of confused on what to do. You have a couple of things over here. I don't hate going like this. Once again, with these little guys, throwing it to Jalen, waiting, or hitting Tyreek. Now that is a little bit trickier on the wide side, so maybe it's best to run it from the other side. And you can run the corner out on the short side, but we just want as much space as we can get. So right there, you see you just have a lot of space to complete it. If your wide receiver doesn't have the trait to make possession catches, you don't have to worry about it since you have a lot more room. Whereas if he doesn't, you could be in trouble. So you have that corner out. Now you have this little post route over here. And again, with these left side guys, you could go comeback. You could go with this little in route concept, which I like. Mostert, he's in kind of an awkward spot. If you have hot route master, angle route here would be pretty good. Other than that, you could throw him on a little baby out, but I would probably just block him. But this concept is really good. So you can go in route zig, you can go curl flat, you can go comeback zig. Gives yourself a couple of options, and he can't really commit to anything, especially if you're mixing it up. So you can go curl flat here. I like flat, or out route. I'd probably go out route. So you have that. And then you also have B. Now he runs deeper. You're really going to have to undercut it. And Gunslinger, of course, would help. Tua doesn't have that. He has a really slow release. And so I think spacing-wise, it might even help if you throw A on a little streak. But you really have to throw it early. Spacing-wise, it's a little bit tough, but you really have to throw it perfectly since it is so deep. So that could be interesting. Now, a concept that you can actually do with that corner out, and this is something you can do out of Bucks Trail as well. If you're on this side of the field, with this Bucks Trail, you can motion over Cedric Wilson. This is something I forgot to talk about, but you can go like out route, streak, something like this. Now, it's pretty difficult to get this open. You need a lot of time, if I'm not mistaken. But you'd have to throw it there. We got hit, so probably block your halfback. Really just try and protect inside, but you can throw it earlier. Of course, it was open. But with the quick slot out, it would be the same thing. So again, it's nice that we have like kind of same routes with different players, just kind of how the play works. You can actually, with this play, kind of run it stock. You still have another corner out over here, so you could just kind of run it like this. Boom, probably throw it a little bit earlier. Again, pass lead inside for sure, but that's another concept that you can take advantage of with this quick slot out play. Here's a look at the corner out on the short side of the field. Of course, it still does work, just a little bit tighter. Corner's a little bit closer, a little bit less space on the sidelines to catch and make moves as well. So keep that in mind. I'll show, I think, just one more play here, or maybe a couple. And let's go to the Bucks flood. And I'll show the curl flats as well. A couple of other decent plays, of course. I don't hate mixing in quick snap four verts as well. But here's a curl flats play. I generally will just run the stock if it's zone. Now, don't throw it like that, but I like the angle route. It's a mix-up, especially if you don't have abilities. It doesn't hurt to do this, but you can quick snap it to the flats. If you have a little bit more time, that's where the curls can get open. So you can use those. So let's see if we can get the curls going. I think on the wide side it's a little bit better. So they really do kind of just sit on the curls, but again, different coverages, cover two. The curls would be the guys you want to throw it to. Usually high ball it, of course. But this play, it's not terrible. You can throw it to Mostert if it's man coverage either. So that's a good play against man, two curls. And if you want, you can maybe throw a comeback zig on the other side. So Bucks flood with this play. It's interesting. I think this post is definitely a lot better because you can smart out it, so he runs in a really good spot. As far as Jalen Waddle goes, he's in interesting position. I would probably go like zig. Again, something we've done a little bit of. We can throw A on a little backside slant. Probably would just curl Sherfield on the back end, or you could throw him on an in route. So something like this. Or if you want 2 zigs, you run it like this. So it's just going to be difficult to defend. Tyreek, make sure you aggressive catch it if you're in traffic. You could even lowball it potentially as well, but this play is decent. I would definitely smart out it, but you can actually run this play stock as well. It's 2 out routes. They could work, and it could catch them off guard. So that's a good play if it's like a 3rd and 15. You smart out the in route. Gives you 2 concepts. User will have to pick one. You can take advantage. If none are open, you can check down and put yourself in a 4th and manageable. But overall, it's going to do a video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you drop a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel down below, and peace. I'm out of here.